It is a bank holiday weekend in the UK, which means we have a 3-day weekend, and this is the first of 3 bank holiday weekends this month. So I'm very excited. I've got lots of things planned this weekend and I thought I'd do a vlog. So today I'm going to be going to Oxford to meet my friend Katie. We're going to go to Dirty Bones, which is one of my favourite restaurants. They do chicken on top of waffle with maple syrup and it is just perfect. We're probably going to do some book shopping. I wouldn't be surprised because it's Oxford. It has some of the best bookshops. Tomorrow I'm hosting a readathon with my Patreons. I try and do these at least once a month. They're available to all tiers if you do ever want to join, and basically it's just a day of reading, or 2 days of reading sometimes. And I'm basically just hosting a live show throughout the whole day for sprints, just to hold people accountable, to offer motivation, or just offer a bit of company. So that's the plan tomorrow, and I'll tell you what I intend to read in a minute. Monday, I think I'm going to be going to a Scarecrow festival, which just feels like an incredibly English village thing to do. There's a theme every year and all the houses in this village decorate these scarecrows as to that theme, and you have to walk around and there's like 50 different scarecrows and you have to try and guess who each scarecrow is meant to be. It's just good fun. We went last year and it kind of signified the start of spring and the better weather for me, and I kind of have it associated with that in my brain, so I think that's the plan for Monday. I'm going to be, of course, vlogging the whole thing, and the book that I will be reading is Godkiller by Hannah Kanner. Hannah Kanner? This, I have no idea really what this is about, and I have started it and I'm still none the wiser. There's currently a lot of different characters that we're meeting. I'm about 40 pages in and I'm still a little bit lost because there's like 3 or 4 different narratives. 3, I think I've been introduced to 3 different narratives at the moment, and I'm just getting confused with who everyone is and what their positions are in this story. But from what I can understand, gods have been banished by the king, and one of the characters is a god killer. Another character has like a god that's kind of attached to them somehow, and the other character used to work for the king but is now a baker. That's what I have understood so far. I know I could read the blurb, and I did once read the blurb for this, but I'm kind of wanting to go into it knowing very little. However, I do have a slight challenge with this, hopefully an achievable one. I've not really been reading as many physical books at the moment. I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks. Like, I'm reading a lot, but it's just more audiobooks than it is sitting down with physical books, because one, of how busy I am, but also 2, my brain just feels so busy at the moment, and when I do sit down to read, I feel like I don't have the capacity to pay attention to it as much as I would have a couple of months ago. I just feel like I'm so busy in my head at the moment, so I will work on giving myself that moment of calm, but it does mean that I haven't been reading physically as much. So the challenge for me is to try and finish this by tomorrow, because this is actually my Patreon book club pick for March and April, and we're just about to be at the end of April. This vlog is an April to May vlog. It's currently the 29th of April at the moment, tomorrow 30th, and then we've got the 1st of May on Monday. So I'd like to try and finish this by Sunday before we enter into May. That is the goal. That's the plan for the vlog. I'm gonna go to Oxford now. I went to Oxford yesterday and I didn't buy a single book. I don't know how that happened. Oxford is one of my favourite places next to Bath to go book shopping, and I didn't buy anything. I did convince Katie to buy a book, so maybe, you know, I did my book buying vicariously through Katie. Katie bought Feed by Mira Grant, which is a book that I haven't actually read yet, but we were talking about The Walking Dead and we were talking about zombie books, and I said that I have this one on my TBR, and Katie looked at it, thought it looked fun, and bought it. I think it's meant to be quite a fun, entertaining type of zombie book. So, well, obviously all books are meant to be somewhat entertaining, but I think it's meant to be funny. I think. I don't know. But I do want to read that for an upcoming video soon, but I have no idea when that video is going to be. So Katie bought that, I bought nothing. I did get to go meet Katie's dogs though. I got to meet the famous Maple, and she was an absolute bean, they all were, but it was a really nice day, so I had great fun, and now I have a challenge for today. I'm currently reading God Killer, and I would like to try and read as much of this as possible today physically. I have spoken about my reliance on audiobooks at the moment, and I think audiobooks are so great, and they just allow you to read in so many different situations that you wouldn't have been able to previously. However, I am definitely relying on them more than I am sitting down and reading physical books as much. So the plan is to physically read as much of this as possible. I'm still not loving it. We've been introduced to a fourth character perspective, and I'm just like, who are all these people? But I think that I'll slowly get the hang of that. I haven't read a great deal more since I last spoke to you, so hopefully I can get more into this today. However, I do actually have quite a large to-do list. Well, not a large to-do list, but a to-do list of big things before I can physically sit down and read. It's 11 o'clock in the morning and my Patreon sprint started at 10 and we're going to be live all day. So I'm going to use these sprints to motivate me because we're doing the readathon today. But I basically need to finish another book for another video that will be live by the time you're watching this. So I'll pop a link up here, but it's reading books about travel. So I need to finish the last book for that video this morning, which I have 2 hours left of the audiobook for. That one I was physically reading, but I've picked up the audiobook for the last bit because I have so many things I need to get done. So I'm going to try and finish that. No, I am going to finish that this morning. Then I've got to finish that video. I've also then got to do my wrap up, film my wrap up and edit my wrap up and have all of this scheduled by the end of today, because then I go back to my family home tomorrow and won't have access to my computer to edit and schedule the footage. So that's where the stress comes into a little bit, because there's quite a lot of big things I have to do, but I'm going to listen to the audiobook consistently in every sprint until I finished it this morning. I'm going to do some cleaning and packing and things whilst I'm doing that, and then once I've done all of that, I'm going to read some God Killer. I've done all of my big tasks for the day. It's definitely much later in the day than I would have liked to have finished those tasks by, but this morning / early afternoon I finished the book that I needed to finish to be able to finish the video I was filming. So I've got that video now scheduled, edited it, scheduled it, that's all sorted. And I've also been filming my wrap up, which I've also edited and scheduled. So I've done all my video work, which I'm really pleased with because that takes a massive pressure off knowing that I've done that and that's sorted. So I did sit down in the last sprints and read God Killer. But I don't want to DNF this, but I kind of want to switch to an audiobook. The whole point of me reading today, for me, was that I was physically reading, because I feel like I'm just so reliant on audiobooks at the moment, and audiobooks are great. There's so many good reasons to be reliant on audiobooks, and it's not a bad thing. But I do feel like I'm just audiobooking at the moment and not having that time to physically sit down and read. And that time to physically sit down and read is something I really enjoy, and I'm just not carving out that time enough. So the whole point of this was that I was going to physically sit down and read God Killer. However, I've decided that I was initially, before thinking of doing this for this vlog, I was going to audiobook this anyway. This was always going to be one I listened to as an audiobook because I know SCRIBD have it. And then I thought, well, I want to physically sit down and read. Why not just read this? Because I need to read it by the end of the month anyway for my book club pick. However, I've decided that if I spill over a couple of days, that's fine. And as I was going to read it as an audiobook anyway, I'm just going to do that with this. And in this video, I'm going to start I'm going to hold them upside down, these two. I've not deliberately matched the colour schemes for these. We've got Twisted by Steve Kavanagh and we've got Battle Royale by Kushan Takami. Battle Royale features a group of students who are left on an island to fight to the death until one of them remains. Twisted is from an author I already know I find very gripping. I've already read 50/50 and 13 from Steve Kavanagh, so I already feel like I'm going to enjoy this one, but the blurb for this one says, before you read this book, I want you to know 3 things. 1, the police are looking to charge me with murder. 2, no one knows who I am or how I did it. And 3, if you think you found me, I'm coming for you next. After you've read this book, you'll know the truth is far more twisted. I'm kind of leaning towards twisted because I just want something I absolutely know I'm just gonna fall into and not be able to put down. However, the concept of Battle Royale makes me think it's gonna be incredibly fast-paced. Battle Royale definitely has a similar concept in a way to the Hunger Games with the fight to the death situation, and I think the appeal of these kind of concepts is it's such a page turner because you want to know who is gonna make it and who's gonna not, and that makes it very intense. The film, I can't remember the specific details of the film, but I do remember it being an incredibly intense film filled with a lot of tension and a lot of blood and gore. It was a really good film, so I feel like I'm definitely gonna enjoy the book, but I don't know which option to pick. So I might try a bit of both. I might just dive into one and just commit. Honestly, I don't know, but I think that's my plan. Still gonna physically read, just not gonna be this. But I think if I kept physically reading this, I probably would have ended up soft DNFing it. For no good reason, I'm just not really vibing with it. There's a lot going on and I feel like I'm not really clicking into the story of it. So there's nothing wrong with it. I like the writing style and I like the concept of it. I especially love this cover. Not that that has anything to do with the story, but the cover's really pretty. But yeah, I'm gonna switch it up. So one of these will be my physical and this will be my audiobook, but I don't think I'm gonna finish this one in this vlog. When I woke up this morning, it was really sunny, and then I went and emptied the bins earlier and it was still really sunny. I came back in, I finished packing my bag, 5 minutes passed, and now it's clouded over and it's grey skies. I've got the Scarecrow Festival today that I'm going back to my family home for, which is just the most lovely, quaint English village thing. It's so nice. I think there was a theme last year. I don't know if there's a theme this year, but I'm going to try and film some of my favourites because there's just so much effort put into these. There's usually, I think there was about 50 last year that everyone in the community, each house has kind of put together and decorated that wants to take part, and it's just great fun, and it just, for me, symbolised last year the start of the spring weather. I know we've been in spring for a couple of weeks now, but I feel like this time of year now, entering into May, is when we really see the shift into that lovely spring summer weather, which I'm very ready for. Also, I started a new little journey for myself today. I have been planning to start this today and I woke up and I felt very motivated, very determined. I have not really been looking after my body in health and fitness recently. I have scoliosis and I'm hypermobile, and both of those things hurt me more the less fit I am, which makes sense because obviously my body isn't as strong as it could be. And they are hurting me a lot at the moment, and I'm really noticing this, and I'm also noticing that my general body health I'm noticing things that are not great, and I'm not really looking after myself in the way that I should. So I've decided today that ends and I'm starting a new leaf, turning over a new leaf, and I'm really going to work to make sure that my body is really healthy because I don't want to feel the pain that I am feeling with things. I know that it's always going to hurt me to have scoliosis and hypermobility. It's always going to be some form of pain, but I know I can help the severity of that in what I do. It's not going to get rid of it at all, but I know that it definitely makes a difference, and I know this because I've done it in the past and it has helped. So today I started Couch to 5k, which I didn't intend that to be the route I went down. I am going to be doing like some Joe Wicks workouts and things like that as well, but I woke up this morning and the Joe Wicks app wasn't working properly for me, so I was like, do you know what? Let's get the Couch to 5k app. So that was very spontaneous. I don't know if that's going to be something I consistently actually work towards. Like, that wasn't a goal that I had in mind starting today, but it's what I did this morning. It was okay. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. I don't really like running very much at all. I don't really like much exercise apart from walking, yoga and swimming, I would say. I'm kind of talking about it here to hold myself accountable in a way, I suppose, because I have tried to do this in the past and not really seen it through, but I want to do the best thing I can for my body. So that is my goal, and that starts today. I'm all packed up. You can't see it, but it's over there. I'm all packed up, ready to go back to my family home. I have packed up Twisted by Steve Kavanagh, which is obviously my current read, and also Death of a Bookseller, and I've got my Kindle with me. So I've got lots of choice. I'm back for a week at the moment because I've got so many different things happening in that area that it just made sense to stay with them for a week. So I think that's also going to help me with the exercise motivation and things, because my mum does a lot of things like that and is really on it with the exercising and with like knowing the right kind of foods to help when you have done an exercise routine and things like that. So she's going to help me with all of that as well. So I think that's going to help. But yeah, just all positive, good stuff, just kind of holding myself accountable. But now I'm going to drive back to my family home and go to the Scarecrow Festival. Look, I'm even packing my yoga mat and everything. Also, I'd like it to be known I did not deliberately buy this suitcase with it being the Paper and Word brand colours, but it pretty much is exactly that. So I'm repping Paper and Word today. Beth from the future coming in to interrupt my past self before I wrap up this vlog, because I just got home from my family home. I've been back there for a week, and I think I wrapped this vlog up actually a week ago today? No, I don't even know. It doesn't matter. The vlog is wrapped up and finished, but I came home to my adult Fairy Loot box for April, and I wanted to unbox it for you, so I thought I would add this into this vlog. I am a rep for Fairy Loot, and I can give you a discount code for their YA box. If you would like to receive 5% off the first box in the monthly subscription for the YA box, you can use the code I do believe in fairies at checkout. I know what this is. Okay, here's the prompt card. This says strings attached. I know what this is, I'm so excited. Okay, this cover is not what I was expecting, but I really like the colours in it. This is TJ Klune's In the Lives of Puppets. TJ Klune has a way of emotionally ruining me every time I read one of their books, so I'm sure that this one is going to be exactly the same. So the actual cover for this, for comparison, wait, hang on a sec. Okay, this is the standard cover for this. This is the WATERSTONES edition, and then this is the Fairy Loot edition, just to compare. These are very different covers, and I actually really love them both. I really like the Zen vibes that this one's giving me. I don't know why, it's kind of giving me a Lord of the Ringsy vibe to it with the mountains and the font. I'm loving whatever we've got happening up here. I really want to explore more of that, and obviously that is a theme that we have in the standard WATERSTONES, or actually that's the WATERSTONES exclusive edition with those sprayed edges. But also, these are so pretty. This is not what I was expecting, but I'm actually really pleasantly surprised. This is really pretty. Okay, hang on, let's have a look under the dust jacket. Oh, the end pages. Oh, the little book. Oh, I'll tell you what this book's about in a minute, but this is under the dust jacket. Oh, the end pages first. There's the end pages at the end. Oh, look at it. It's so cute, the little robots that I know I'm going to become way too emotionally invested in. This is really pretty. I really like this. So this edition comes with an exclusive redesigned cover by Witkovskaya_art, digital sprayed edges with a block sprayed top and bottom edge, foil on the hardcover by Blanca Design, and there's artwork on the end pages also designed by Witkovskaya_art, and it's signed by the author. Oh, it's a retelling of Pinocchio. I feel like I should have known that. Okay, didn't actually realise that. Let me tell you what this book's about. Welcome to the heart of a peculiar forest and the beginning of an extraordinary journey that's probably going to make me cry. In a small home built in the branches of a tree live a human named Victor and 3 robots. These are a pleasantly sadistic nurse machine, a small vacuum desperate for love and attention, and a fatherly inventor android named Giovanni Lawson. Together they're a family hidden and safe. Then Vic salvages an unfamiliar android labelled HAP, or HAP. He learns that HAP and Geo share a dark past where they hunted humans, and HAP unwittingly gives away Geo's location. Before they know it, robots from Geo's former life arrive to capture and return the android to his laboratory in the City of Electric Dreams. The rest of the unconventional family must travel across an unforgiving and otherworldly country to rescue Geo from decommissioning or worse, reprogramming. Along the way, Vic must decide if he can handle his feelings for Hap, even if they come with strings attached. Yeah, I already know this is going to destroy me. This is the April Fairy Loot book. Oh, see, I can't even the blurbs floor me. This is the April adult Fairy Loot book. I am a rep for Fairy Loot, as I said. You can get a discount on their YA monthly book subscription box using the code I do believe in fairies at checkout. That will get you 5% off the first box in your monthly subscription. Thank you, Fairy Loot, for sending this through. I am looking forward to destroying myself reading it. I like the covers very much. I do really love what they've done with this one. It's very pretty. Okay, I can wrap up the vlog now. Back to past Beth. So it's currently Tuesday, which means I completely messed up wrapping this vlog up on Monday night, but I'm always really bad at vlogging when I'm back at my family house. So Sorry, but it is now Tuesday. It did give me a little bit more of an opportunity to read some more of 13. No, it's not called that. That's what the other one's called. Twisted. To read some more of Twisted. My grandma said to me yesterday, have I heard of Steve Kavanagh? And I was like, yes, I have. I'm currently reading one of his books. She's just picked up 13, which was recommended to her by a bookseller, which is the book that I read that got me into Steve Kavanagh's writing. So that's kind of coincidental. Anyway, it gave me a bit more of a chance to read more of 13 because, no! Twisted. How many times am I going to do that? It gave me a chance to read more of Twisted. We got back from the Scarecrow Festival yesterday, which was so much fun. I hope you enjoyed watching some of the vlog clips from that. I tried to film some of my favourites. I think my favourite one was the Hot Fuzz one, which had 2 policemen climbing over a fence, and then in the background there was the caped figure and just the one swan, actually. It was a lot of fun, and the sun came out and it was so warm, and it gave me what I wanted from that kind of transition of the seasons that I associate that event with, so it was perfect. Anyway, have been reading a bit more of this. There is a lot of tension and suspense going on in this, and also there's a clever thread through it because the very first thing we read in this book is from an anonymous perspective, and it's looking at an event that is taking place either in the middle or end of this plot. Like, I have no idea when this event is taking place, but it's definitely in the future from what I'm currently reading. If I've worded that well, I don't know. So we as the reader know that something's going down, but we don't know when, and we don't know what, and we don't know who. So it's very clever, it's building that intrigue, I'm really enjoying it. I'm just enjoying sitting down and physically reading a book. I think it's so easy for me to get trapped into doing all of these different things and being so busy, and I love being busy. I thrive on having plans and being busy and doing all these things. But obviously I love reading, and I want to be able to sit down and read, and I want my brain to feel like I have the space to be able to just sit down and enjoy a good book. So whilst I haven't read as much as I thought I would this weekend, and whilst I don't really have a conclusion of finishing a book to tell you about, I'm still proud of how this weekend's gone, and I think it's been a good reading one for me. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you did enjoy, please do give it a thumbs up, comment down below what you have been reading this week. You can subscribe to see more of my face on your feed, and you can also find links down below to my Patreon and my online shop. Thank you so much for watching, keep smiling and stay positive.